Cast of the rivalry. It's Hope College and Calvin College women's basketball tipping off in an early season matchup here on November 30th. Hope College Flying Dutch coming in undefeated and ranked 10th overall. Their opponent, the Calvin College Knights, coming in ranked 24th in the nation, also undefeated. I'm Blaine Wiersbicky with Carly Van Swol, and we're ready to bring you a great matchup this evening from DeVos Fieldhouse here on the campus of Hope College in beautiful Holland, Michigan. Should be a nice matchup tonight, Carly. Looking at a couple undefeated teams. Teams obviously rivals. A big turnout starting to fill up here in DeVos, and I think we have a good matchup coming up here.
Yeah, this is an exciting game. One that a lot of people circle on the calendar. Even last season they had it circled just because these are two phenomenal teams, and we always get a good game out of it. And this is the 116th matchup, like you said. The Flying Dutch trail overall 70-45, and they've won 30 of the 44 games since 2000. So. Calvin's leading the competition, but this is going to be a good game. Both teams undefeated. Both teams really rely well and have really, really good guards on their side. And we have Paris Madison, Tyra Smith, Angelique Gaddy, and even Mandy Traversa for Hope. And then for Calvin, we have Anna Timmer, Bree Lertzma, and Allie Spade, who have all had phenomenal seasons. And those are going to be some of your key players for Calvin, Anna Timmer and Bree and Allie. Anna and Allie really doing well in the assists and leading with points, and then Bree doing a really great job and assisting all that. And then they got Rachel Warners down in the middle in the paint. They're big, phenomenal post player, uses her length, likes to go above the post players, and it's going to be an interesting matchup for our post players today. We got Frankie Buchanan, who really likes to body people, so it's going to be an interesting matchup between Buchanan and Warners.
Timmer coming in, averaging 15.2 points a game, 10.7 rebounds per game. The only player for Calvin averaging a double-double. Certainly the senior 5'10 forward, one to look out for. Frankie Buchanan on the other side, 17.8 points a game, so he hit it right on the head. Perfect matchup this evening. We'll see how things go down in the paint. Both teams with a lot of depth on their squads. Certainly a lot of talent on both sides, and that's how you get an undefeated record. A lot of talent. In fact, will be interesting to see how these teams prepare for a potential close matchup. Hope's coming off a 92-58 victory at Cornerstone. Calvin's coming off a championship at the Finlandia tournament. They won by 30 over Finlandia, and they won by 39 against Carroll from Wisconsin. So these are teams that have some blowout wins, no doubt about that. Got a chance to talk about it with Coach Morehouse before the game. Now let's listen in and see what he had to say.
Coach Morehouse, thanks for stopping by with us. Just want to ask you a few questions. First off, you place a lot of talent this year coming in, losing All-American. How do you go into this season? A lot of different faces, some new roles on the team, getting some different playing time.
Well, I think you trust in the process and you hope that your younger players improve. There's honestly no way that you can replace Amora McAfee. I mean, three-time All-American, one of the career leaders in rebounding, points, and blocks. So you're not going to replace her. I think we have to find different ways to play different people and get our scoring from different places.
Sure. Coach, you have had some big wins, winning by as much as 42 points this year. Calvin, a tough opponent, undefeated, ranked. How do you go into a game differently or the same when you're looking at a ranked opponent? Could be a close game tonight. How do you think that might affect your team?
Well, I hope that our Wheaton game was very close. That gave us some great experience, and I hope that every day in practice is a good preparation for it. I think it really just comes down to how do you manage the moment in the intense situations, and hopefully some of our veteran players do that.
Coach, thank you. Good luck tonight.
Thanks a lot.
Always nice to hear from Coach Morehouse before the game, talking about what he expects from his team, some new faces, also some great returning faces as well, and that's the case for Calvin also. We are just about ready for our national anthem and starting lineups, but first we're in store for a special moment here, especially for those of you in the Hope College community, those of you who have heard of recent tragic incidents involved with the Hope community. But I think we're just going to turn it over to our PA man, Darren Deistermars. He'll take over from here. Let's listen in.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask you to please rise. Ladies and gentlemen, before we begin, Hope College is mourning the loss of a beloved coach, professor, colleague, and friend this week. Carla Walters, class of 1973, died this week after a 2-year battle with cancer. During her coaching career, Carla coached 1,792 athletic events in 5 sports, including softball, volleyball, field hockey, basketball, and tennis. She coached teams during tenures at both Calvin College and Hope College to winning records in 46 out of 58 seasons. She brought the Hope College softball program to new levels of success, and the stadium is named in honor of her and her husband, Tom. Carla's impact on those around her, in particular students, was even more significant and meaningful. Carla was a talented classroom professor and softball coach who showed us how to be strong and true through a personal faith in Jesus Christ, as well as through a commitment and dedication to the students of Hope and Calvin College. Carla's presence around campus will certainly be missed, but her legacy will be long-lasting and one that we will lean into for years to come. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would, please join us for a moment of silence in honor of our friend, Carla Walters. Thank you. And now to honor America with the singing of our national anthem, please welcome Hope College's own Miss Becca Faisenveld and Miss Hannah Fawcett.
So proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Becca Faisenveld and Miss Hannah Fawcett. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the DeVos Fieldhouse here on the campus of Hope College for tonight's women's varsity contest between the Knights of Calvin College and your Hope College Flying Dutch. Here are tonight's starting lineups. First for the Knights at 1 forward, a 5'10 senior from Caledonia, number 23, Anna Timmer. And at 1 forward for the Flying Dutch, a 5'9 junior from Scottville, number 12, Madison Gears. At 1 forward for the Knights, a 5'8 senior from St. Ignace, number 24, Lauren Goldthorpe. And at 1 forward for the Flying Dutch, a 6-foot senior from Winfield, Illinois, number 25, Mandy Traversa. Starting at center for the Knights, a 6'2 sophomore from Grand Rapids, number 44, Rachel Warners. And at center for the Flying Dutch, a 6-foot sophomore from Grant, number 21, Francesca Buchanan. At 1 guard for the Knights, a 5'9 junior from Lewis Center, Ohio, number 4, Allie Spade. And at 1 guard for the Flying Dutch, a 5'5 junior from Grand Rapids, number 20, Tyra Smith. And at the final guard spot for the Knights, a 5'10 junior from Holland, number 15, Bree Lertzma. And at the final guard spot for the Flying Dutch, a 5'4 senior from Caledonia, number 24, Angelique Gaddy. Calvin College is coached by Chuck Winkleman. Hope College is coached by Brian Morehouse. Your officials this evening, Mr. Jeff Nix, Mr. Keith Richardson, and Mr. Tim Swain.
All right, and we're back with that. The starting lineups through, and we're just about ready to get started here from DeVos Fieldhouse for the rivalry, the women's basketball edition. Hope and Calvin Both teams on the floor, just about ready to get started. You heard the starting lineups there. Just to go over them again, Bree Lertzma and Anna Timmer, the forwards for Calvin. Rachel Warners starts at center, the 6'2" sophomore from Grand Rapids Christian High School. Another one of Carly's friends here. Allie Spade and Lauren Goldthorpe finishing out the starting lineup at the guard spots. For the Dutch, Madison Gears and Mandy Traversi are forwards. Frankie Buchanan at center. Tyra Smith and Angelique Gaddy starting at the guard positions. And with that, as soon as Calvin breaks their huddle, comes out onto the court, I think we're just about ready to get started.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting game. I think it's really going to come down to which team gets the early lead. We've seen both teams do really, really well when they've gotten the early lead and struggle and have to come back after some deficits if they've gone down in the first quarter. So I think this first quarter is going to be a big one. Whoever takes charge, comes out aggressive, is really going to have a really good chance of winning this game.
Calvin leads the all-time series by a wide margin, 70-45, but Hope won the 2000s 19-5, currently lead 11-9 in this decade. Looking to improve on it, Calvin looking to catch and back up and get close to 500. Buchanan wins the tip without much trouble, and Gaddy starts off. Calvin's going to look to trap right away. Traverse is wide open. She'll step back for the three-point line and gets the Dutch started. And when you try and put the pressure on and trap, you leave somebody open. Mandy Traverse is not the player you want to do that with. How about Calvin on the other end? And that's going to be a turnover right away. That's going to Hope. Great pressure there by Gaddy. And the pass going over Bree Lertzman. I thought it was tipped. It didn't look from our angle as though it was. So it goes over to the Dutch. A good start for the home team. Smith on the wing. Now Gears. They're swinging it around. Looking to get inside to Buchanan. She gets inside. Couldn't get it to go. And here comes Calvin the other way. They'll get it up top. Try and get the offense going. Here's Spade. Foul going to be called on Smith. So Smith picks up an early foul. Looked like the Dutch were going to get a 5-0 lead on the other end. Buchanan at inside position. Pretty easy layup. Just couldn't quite get it to go. Felt the pressure coming from behind. So Smith picks up the first foul of the game. Here's Calvin. Spade leading the point again. Being defended closely. Gears comes out to pick up Lertzma. Coach Chuck Winkleman urging his team, screaming down the floor to reset the offense. Driving inside. Timmer has nowhere to go. Gets it back out to Warner. Shot clock down to 10 now. Stifling defense from the Dutch. Drive inside. Gaddy steps up. That one short, and Gaddy comes up with the rebound. So go up the floor. See if she looks to push or pull it out. Now she wants to drive. Goes all the way to the left. She misses the layup as well. 2 missed layups for the Dutch to start this game. That one's almost poked away, but kept alive by Spade. Here's the drive. Timmer going inside, up, and she won't miss that layup. And the first points for the Knights come from Anna Timmer.
Yeah, and Timmer does a great job of finding her way to the basket. She's very smooth in her moves, and we've seen Hope miss 2 layups right there. And if they're going to miss 2 layups, Anna Timmer's going to show them how it's done.
Gaddy now will step up, take the 2, and she buries it. Nice jump shot, making up for the layup she missed down the floor in the previous trip. And a great atmosphere to start. This crowd's into it, and it's a pretty packed house here in DeVos. Out top, Hope still putting the pressure on Spade. Top of the key. Out on the wing. Inside, look for Warners, and she buries it. Didn't need to use any glass, just put it right up and in. Calvin back to within 1. Here's Gaddy now for the Dutch. Traversa swings it around. We get Buchanan up top. Same look we saw in the last trip down. Now Smith is just going to pull, and that one won't go. Rebound chased down by Lauren Goldthorpe. Up the floor to the wing. Lertzma swings it around. Now they'll drive inside, and that one goes. Great finish. Another basket for Anna Timmer. Gears all the way up the other way. She finally gets it to go. First layup of the game for the Dutch. They're 1 for 3 now from the field off the small square. Smith tried to take it away. Couldn't quite come up with it. Down the baseline. That's going to end up as an easy shot and a bucket. Lauren Goldthorpe looked like a turnover for the Dutch, but went a little too heavy. All or nothing. Left Calvin with an open bucket. Fast-paced game to start here as Calvin takes the 1-point lead. Gaddy sees room, she'll drive. She gets rejected. Big block there inside from Warners. See if Calvin can come back in transition all the way down. Lertzma couldn't get the layup to go. Rebound though, Warners. She finishes it. Big block, offensive board and a basket. Stuff in the stat sheet early on here.
And Rachel Warners didn't play a whole lot her freshman year, but she's done a great job working in the offseason. I've gotten the pleasure to play with her in high school and know that she's an extremely hard worker.
2 shots coming up here with the foul. Chance for the Dutch to get it back within 1. It looks like we're in store for a great back and forth ball game as Mandy Traversa gets the first shots from the charity stripe this evening.
And Calvin averaging 78 points per game, and Hope is averaging 95 points. So both these teams really know how to score. I think it's going to really come down to who can knock down those shots and make the easy buckets that we've seen Timmer make and Hope miss. So I think it's really going to come down to shooting percentage and who's going to move the ball around and get it going.
Traversa can't bury the second one. Rebound brought down by Timmer. Here's Calvin up the other way. Spade up the floor. In the top of the key, looking to work inside. Perkins had checked in for the Dutch. This one outside, long off the iron. Foul. This is going against Calvin as Buchanan looked to box out and get the rebound. 2 fouls now on the Knights. Nicole Meyer picks that one up. The freshman from Macomb went to Eisenhower High School. 6 feet tall on the roster. Plenty of height for both teams. These are some of the most talented teams you'll see in the country right here. Perkins, one dribble, picked it up. Now going inside, Buchanan will turn, put up a shot. That's well short. Well defended, and she looked like she rushed it a bit.
And that is Buchanan's go-to move, but normally she's a step and a half closer to the basket, so I think she just misjudged where she was.
Up top, Hope really putting pressure on at the get-go on Calvin on the defensive end. Now they go inside. Good pass. Layup and the foul. Count the basket. A 3-point play opportunity for Bree Lertzma.
And we'll see Hope do that a lot. Hope really likes to get the charge call. We saw it in 3 games in the tournament that Hope hosted a couple weekends ago. They really like to go for that charge and really test the drivers as they drive down to the lane.
Lertzma, a chance to give her team a 5-point lead. She can't hit the free throw. Nobody grabbed it initially for the Dutch. And Gaddy comes out with it. Hope struggled with rebounding this year if they've had one area where they struggled. Haven't boxed out opponents. Certainly boxing out today, looking like they're improved. Just got to be ready to attack the basketball following the box out. They swing. 3 ball going up. Gears left it short. She's wide open. Allie Spade lost her. Down to the floor. We're going to have a jump ball. This one is going to go to Calvin.
And you mentioned Coach Winkleman screaming from the sidelines, and this is his first matchup, first Hope Calvin matchup, as this is his first season as Calvin's women's head coach. He had previously come from Millsaps College in Mississippi, and from what I've heard from Calvin people, that they're really excited about him and they really like his coaching style. And the girls are doing really well and thriving, obviously being undefeated this season. So he's really done a great job and filled the shoes of the beloved Coach Ross.
Perkins goes to the floor, gets a turnover. Gaddy wants to drive. Tough take, wouldn't go. Tried to get her own rebound. Schwark picks it up. It's tipped out. It'll stay with Hope. Gaddy sliced through the lane, had a pretty good look, but just struggling finishing from inside the paint. The Dutch have not been able to get a lot of shots go from the field. They're 3 of 10 overall. And pretty sure only 2 of those misses come from outside of the paint. On the inbound, they get it for Perkins. She's fouled in the basket. The hoop and the harm. Perkins back on this side. Chance to go for the 3-point play. Big play there. The Dutch down by 4. Looked like Calvin was ready to start pulling ahead. Perkins strong through contact. Gets that shot to go.
Perkins a very aggressive and strong player. We see her out on the soccer field. Record-setting goals, but she's aggressive on both ends of the field, but one of the best teammates and people to play against that you'll ever play with.
Perkins very disciplined at the line, shooting 92% from the free throw line this year. Gets that one to go. And the Dutch within 1. Shot up, this one well short. saved, inside, layup off the glass and good. Bree Lertzma, and a very fortuitous bounce there. The air ball actually helped Calvin get an open look. Swung all the way across. Perkins now gonna drive, split through, kicked out. Traversa, open three again. She buries it. Are we surprised at all? She's 2 for 2 to start this game, and this one's tied up.
It's dangerous when you need help defense, and the help defender is guarding Mandy Traversa because she'll make that shot 10 out of 10 times.
Missed shot. Hedrick gets the rebound, brings it up the floor. Traversa responsible for Hedrick coming up with that. Kick it to Perkins, wide open. She'll try a three. She knocks it down. What a shot. Elizabeth Perkins out to a hot start. She's got 6 points now. 3 points from deep, 3 points from inside. So the Dutch back on top for the first time since the 9:53 mark in the quarter when they scored the first couple baskets of the game. Good help side defense, but Hope's got to recover here as they get it out to Warner's. Kicked out, 3 from the wing. That one rolled out, wouldn't go. Perkins gets the board off the missed shot from Bree Lertzma. Now Perkins wants to drive, kicks out. Hedrick has an open 3. This one well off. I think she was feeling the 3 train, a couple in a row from the team. Hedrick, not somebody who will take a lot of threes, but that was the first miss of the season as she was 1 for 1 previously. Inside, another turnover. The defense has been great for the Dutch so far. Gaddy will take inside, put it up 2, knocks it down. Now Hope with the 5-point lead, feeling the momentum here. The whole crowd starting to get into it a little bit. Timeout here from Coach Chuck Winkleman and the Knights with 2:51 left in the quarter. And the Dutch are back on top by 5. They needed some threes to get there, and we saw a couple in a row from the Dutch in that quarter. See if we can take a look. I think we got a replay of some of those deep shots for the Dutch. Traversa from the wing, business as usual. And the Dutch were down for most of that quarter after taking the 4-point lead to start. And they fire right back, and now they've got the biggest lead so far at 5 points. Tell you what, the quarter system to me just makes it feel like these games go so much faster. I know we've said this before, but maybe just the 20-minute half seems so long. And I look up at the clock and see 2:51 already. Amazing that we're down to just a couple minutes left, but I think part of that too is this fast-paced game. It's been quickly moving, both teams offensive powerhouses, and this is definitely one of the closest games that they're going to find themselves in this year. Well, we would assume. There have been blowouts in the series at times.
True.
Hope blew out Calvin at home last year, but then Calvin came back and got the win against the Dutch on their floor. Foul going to go against Hedrick. Hedrick looked to be vertical at first, but just stepped into the shooter. Didn't really need to do that. Forced a tough shot from Timmer. Good help defense. Just took it one step too far. Tried to get the block, perhaps. So a chance at the line for Anna Timmer.
Yeah, she got there in time. It was just a slight extra step. But I think Hope's help defense has come a long way. In the beginning of the year, we saw it really struggle, and now they've really gotten that rotation down, and that's what's been so dangerous in this game is that help defense, that double team on picks where we've seen Traversa come out and hedge a couple times and just really throw off the guards.
Timmer gets both to go. Back to within 3 points are the Knights. And here's Paris Madison up floor. Checks in for Angelique Gaddy. First action of the game for Paris Madison. Paris Madison has some ball handling skills, has been known to break some ankles out on the floor. She's dangerous. You've got to try and keep her in front. They go inside for Schwark. Kicked out. Heather Randall, now Hedrick. 10 seconds on the shot clock. She'll drive, forces a tough shot. It was blocked. She gets it back, goes in the middle, and Schwark's right there. Back iron good to go. Offensive rebound, Randall. And Randall almost threw it away. She just turned and passed it without looking. Got to be a little bit more aware of your surroundings with the Dutch. Luck out. They get a fresh shot clock. Calvin's defense good so far this possession. Perkins steps back, gets that one to go. That's a big shot. They weren't able to get inside from the most part on that drive, and Perkins taking care of business, taking charge. She's got 8 points now, the game high.
And Calvin doing a really great job of clogging up that middle so that they can't get any offensive action in the middle.
Spade puts up the tough 2, contested, gets it to go from the baseline. That's a nice shot right there. Good defense from Hope as well. So it looks like both defenses picking up. Perkins off the screen. She'll put up a 3. That's well off, but it almost banked in. And eventually, it's Anna Timmer who comes out with the rebound. Allie Spade to bring it up the floor. Couple heat check type threes we've seen from the Dutch so far. One from Hedrick and one from Perkins. And you're feeling it though. Perkins does have 8 points. That was her first miss. Now 3 from Calvin. That's way off the mark as well. We've seen some bad misses from deep already. Under a minute left to play in the quarter. Hope with a 3-point lead. We'll see if they can hold on to the advantage or if Calvin can get a stop. Madison deep 2, had it partially blocked. Inside, Hedrick, offensive board, but she missed the layup. Another missed layup for the Dutch, and that's got to be about 4 now. Madison comes in, tips it away though. And this is going to go to the Dutch on the sideline. And Allie Spade couldn't believe it. She didn't think she touched it. Right in front of the Hope bench, though. It's going to go back over to Hope. Official right there on the call. Coach Winkleman to have a quick word with our official, but a friendly word. Just wanted to ask. So now under 30 seconds to play. The Dutch will have to shoot before the shot clock runs out. Inside, Schwark, they kick back out. Just seems like the inside presence isn't strong for Hope. They're feeding it into the middle, but without Buchanan. And there's a big block right there. Perkins trying to drive, and Warners comes over with another rejection. Perkins just trying to get whatever offense they can. Not the starting unit. No players from the starting lineup in for Hope right now. Calvin does have many of their starters in. Hope is a team that I haven't seen every D3 team in the country by far, but probably have as much depth as anyone, if not more. Hedrick inside. She's fouled by Warners. Warners thought she had a clean block. So did Coach Winkleman. Looked pretty decent from here, but a piece of the arm. So Hedrick will go to the line.
And that would have been Rachel Warner's 4th or 5th block of the game. She's done a great job of having some good defense in the middle, and Hope's bigs have not been able to respond to it yet.
Hedrick gets it to go from the line. Big trip to the line here for Hope just before the quarter break to get awarded the free throws rather than Calvin getting the ball back. He had a chance to get within 1 or tie it up even. But now the Dutch lead by 5, 8.4. Perkins going to put some pressure on. And Spade not going quickly. She stopped to look to her coach. Got to know. And let's see if Spade can get something to go. Goes up in the air, step back, tough fadeaway, and she buries it. That's a great shot from Allie Spade to finish the quarter. She's got 4. It's a 23-20 lead for Hope after 1. And we're in store for a great game. I think we're going to head to a quick commercial break. We'll be right back after this.
Hit the road.
Honey, did you remember to bring the GPS?
Nope.
Oh. Well, you have an app on your phone to tell us how to get where we're going?
I do not.
Really? So you have an actual map, like the kind that are hard to fold? You just know where you're going?
No idea.
Don't be this guy when it comes to financial planning. LVZ Advisors. We'll help get you there.
Hey, we're all a little lost. Do you know where the lake is?
Welcome back, and it's almost time for second quarter action. Hope College Flying Dutch take the 23-20 lead heading in. I'm Blaine Wiersbicky with Carly Van Swol on the call this evening. Thanks to our sponsor, Lawrence Manderswork, and for underwriting this broadcast. A big part of the reason we're allowed to bring the broadcast of Hope Women's Basketball and all Hope College athletics. Perkins with 8, Traversa with 7 to lead the Dutch, and Timmer had 6. And plenty of players with 4 for Calvin. Calvin has had 5 players score. They're 5 starters. No points off the bench yet. Hope spreading it around a bit more. I talk about that depth. Perkins with 8, Hedrick with a couple points off the bench. And we're underway, second quarter. The Dutch will start with it. Starting lineup back in for Hope. They had the fireworks going on offense when they were out at the beginning of the first quarter. Gaddy wants to go inside. Pass inside, Buchanan, tough finish right there. Looked like a few Calvin defenders reaching for the steal, got through there and got the basket.
Yeah, Gaddy just squeaks that pass in there.
Here come the Knights on the offensive end now. Spade into the middle, good movement. 3 ball, wouldn't go. And we're gonna have a jump ball Traversa boxing out, but left Gaddy to get the rebound. And, you know, I talked about this Hope team struggling to rebound, and they are finding bodies to move out of the way, but it just looks like they're not ready to go up and get the board after. It seems like they're hesitant, as if somebody else on the team is going to get the rebound. Almost a turnover. Timmer goes to the ground. Deep three, Spade. My goodness. That's just about NBA range. Allie Spade is feeling it. She's got 7.
And we said Allie Spade was going to be a dangerous player for Calvin, and she's proven it.
It's the Knights to back within 2. Gaddy will pull up for a deep 2. Back iron wouldn't go. Traverse is there for the rebound. Traverse is such a dangerous three-point shooter. Sometimes you forget she's 6 feet tall. Can be an asset inside as well. Tough look. That one wouldn't go. Buchanan got to be careful not to foul. Skiers put up a pretty quick shot there. Calvin chance to tie or take the lead. Spade closely defended by Tyra Smith. They look to get inside. Tipped away. Gears couldn't get the turnover. Calvin moving around. Gears inside the passing lane again. That might have been a missed travel on the pivot foot drag. Instead, it's going to be a foul. And looked right in front of us. Don't know if we have another look, but Calvin probably lucked out there. But nonetheless, Timmer going to get a chance to go to the line. That was a pretty vicious foul on the other end from the Dutch. Wanted to make sure Timmer didn't finish the layup, but she still almost did. Hope with the trio, Calvin with that trio of very talented players in that first quarter with Spade, Warners, and Timmer. 7 points apiece for Timmer and Spade right now, and Warners locking things down on defense underneath. Timmer gets both to go from the line, and we're tied up at 25. Hope's defense has been great. They look like they've had a lot of almost turnovers, tipping balls away, just not quite able to finish off some of these plays. Turnovers, rebounds, and Calvin taking advantage, finding some of their best looks from the floor. Smith goes up, tried going into contact, and this one's off of Smith. Will go back to Calvin.
But I think like what you just said, that's also a huge key for Calvin. They need to start taking care of their passes and making sure maybe they use a pump fake, maybe they need to throw in a bounce pass. But they've almost got it stolen a couple times now, and so really take care of their passes, and it'll set them up better for offensive opportunities.
Hope getting aggressive on defense. They're all or nothing, and sometimes that can get you out of position. It's hurt them so far. Smith underneath. Spade turns left hand. She rolls it home. She can't miss right now.
And that was a smart move by Calvin. We saw 2-3 zone, and Tyra was on one of the blocks. And if you have someone that can post up Tyra, you're golden.
Gaddy on the wing. Go inside. Buchanan looks to back down, turns. She has her shot blocked, and Buchanan's got to find a different move. She's done it all year. I think it's finally Calvin, first team this season, to look at the film and realize that she's got to do something else, because she turns. She's done that twice now. Airballed it short the first time, and that time was just rejected. No chance. You got to look to see if she can step through, fake that before her dribble. She can get defenders up in the air and take it right to the rack. See if she can make an adjustment down low.
I think this is a big challenge for her, but I think it's a good one to have early on in the season.
Calvin with the 2-point lead. Gaddy will drive now. Kick out. Extra pass to Smith in the corner. She goes baseline. Somehow gets through. Another missed layup. Buchanan was there. We're going to get another jump ball. And boy, the missed layups are killing the Dutch right now. Smith made a nice move to sidestep Nicole Meyer, who did a nice job stepping up to help. She got around and had a wide open look, just couldn't finish. Inbound play to Gears. She's blocked again.
I think the defensive story for Calvin has been Rachel Warner's with the blocks and rebounds that she's gotten, but Nicole Meyer's done a great job of defending Hope's bigs. Buchanan in general, to be specific, but she's done a great job getting rebounds and guarding the bigs.
Inside, Spade gets it to go. Just too easy for the Knights right now. 4-point lead. And Hope usually, and that one's tipped away. And that one is going to go to the Knights. Hope crowd's not going to like that one. Official's going to go over it, but the ref on this side said it's going to go to Calvin. I can't imagine he'll be overturned by the official on the far side. It seemed to me live it would go to Hope. They will overturn. I'm a bit surprised, not that it's called that way. I think that's the right call, but surprised that they overturned it. But great job by our officials getting together and figuring things out. Because that happened right here in front of us, and it sure didn't seem that it was touched by Smith. So Hope fortunate to hold on. Up top, Traversa into the middle. Buchanan, well, she got away with the move that time. She gets a nice roll.
She went the other direction.
Yeah. Back within 2 are the Dutch. 6:15 to go in the second quarter. Here's Calvin. Spade looking to lead the offense out onto the wing. There's Lertzma inside. Gaddy like a free safety, picking it off. Angelique Gaddy kicked out. Gears, wide open 3. Can she hit this one? She does. Big shot, and the Dutch are back on top. That dribble drive penetration that Angelique has had finally paying off. She kicks it out. Gears hits the open 3. Saved, but back to Calvin Gaddy. Athletic play heading into the crowd. Gears tried getting a steal. Lertzma out on the wing. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Calvin's got to get something going now. They want to work inside. Foul going to be called, and another pretty unnecessary foul as they had Calvin off track, and Lertzma was headed nowhere near the basket. Buchanan just stepped in and called for the block. She's just got to stay off, let her force up a tough shot. And deep in the shot clock, Calvin gets a fresh 30. Perkins and Schwark checking back in for the Dutch. Five and a half to go in the first half. Tough time inbounding for Calvin. Perkins is going to grab it. She's going to try and push it up the floor. Perkins up ahead for Gaddy. Gaddy wants to drive, and a blocking foul going to be called, and they are going to get Lauren Goldthorpe with the foul. First foul against Calvin in this quarter. .5:21 left now. They get it in for Perkins. Perkins had the kick out. Will go up instead. That's got to be a foul, and she does get it to go. Elizabeth Perkins is having a day. Boy, the whistle was a bit late, but it looked like she got knocked up pretty good there on the way up, and she gets it to go. 3-point play try.
These rivalry games are what Elizabeth Perkins lives for. She loves the sports that she plays, but she puts her all in, and when it's a Hope Calvin game, she knows it's a big day, and she comes to perform.
.5:18 to go. The Dutch have regained the lead. Perkins a chance to make it 4, and she does. 33-29. Hope College back on top of Calvin College. Spade up the floor. Calvin trying to work it around. Hope's defense has been great up top. They've struggled when Calvin's decided to go inside from time to time. Drive now. Spade kicks it all the way out. Here's going to be an open 3 look from the wing. That one way long. Won't catch anything. That's going to harmlessly roll out of bounds. And great defense there by Hope. Calvin ended up getting an open shot, though, but they could not convert.
I think that was exactly the move that Calvin needed to do. Take it on the baseline, open things up. You see the double team there that opens up somebody on the wing where you can get a cross-court pass or open up a big down at the block. So I think that was good offensive movement that they just had, and they just couldn't execute it.
4:45 left. Hope looking to add to their 4-point lead. Gaddy pulls up. She couldn't get it to go, and she looks to the ref, wanted a foul for contact. It does not get obliged. Inside now. Spade will pull it back out. Coach Winkleman calling out a play, trying to get his offense set up. Warner's up top. She'll try and drive. She goes into 2 defenders. Good up and under move. She picked up the pivot foot, but she couldn't get it to go. Hope crowd wanted to travel. Here's Perkins up top. Now up top, Schwark, and stolen away. Chance for Timmer the other way. She can compose herself, and she does. Gets a layup to go. And tipped away again. Hope getting a little lazy right now. Can't really do that if you're Heather Randall. You're staring down Sydney Hulmard, walking all the way up the floor. She comes all the way and tips it away, and I think a good move here from Coach Chuck Winkleman, trying to put some pressure on. Hope showing right now they're a little bit lackadaisical.
And Hope's in no place to be relaxed. It's 33-31, close game. Calvin's done a great job maintaining the pressure and on offense, and we'll see how Hope reacts to this full-court press.
Shot clock being readjusted down to 28. A couple seconds did come off, and that ball was tipped out. Not a lot of movement here. They get it to Perkins in the corner. Perkins now at the floor as the pressure backs off for the Knights. And the Dutch have a 2-point lead. Perkins, nice drive inside. She's rejected again, and it's off of Elizabeth Perkins. And another tough play. Perkins on the drive. She's holding her wrist, and she read her lips on the floor. She believes she got fouled. From here, it looked like a pretty good block. Here's Spade on the wing. Cross-court lob, offensive foul. I think they're going to get Warners with a moving screen. We'll see. And that is indeed the case. 3:24 left. Warners picks up her second foul quick. And I believe she'll come out. Meyer will take her place. Got to do that. Can't afford to have Warners pick up a third foul here before halftime. Hope back with the ball with a 2-point lead. Calvin looking to put pressure on. They get it up. That's casually lobbed, but it gets to Randall. Go for Perkins. She goes baseline. She'll get the reverse layup, and she gets it to go. Perkins, a little style that time. 13 points now for the senior. She's really stepping up in this game when some of the other Hope players that usually see filling up the points section of the stat sheet been a little bit slow going.
But that's just how deep this team is. One night, it could be a player off the bench. It could be a starter. It doesn't matter who it is, but there's 10, 12 girls on this Hope team that can have a night.
Calvin moving around inside. Finally on the wing. Poked away. Shot going up. Spade is not missing. And there's another example of a time that Hope had the ball tipped around, but they just couldn't quite come up with it. And it leads to a wide open shot. Spade buries it. Back to within 2.5 to go before halftime. On the wing, Perkins comes off the screen. She'll drive, get inside, and it's too easy for her right now. And Calvin's help defense has got to recognize that. I saw 4 players in the paint, everybody staring her down, and she walked right into the middle of them, said thank you very much, took the layup, and Hope's back up by 4, approaching the 2-minute mark. Here's Spade. 13 points, leading Calvin. No surprise to see why. The way she's been shooting the ball so far. Into the corner. That one wouldn't go. And Allie Spade just took a 3 in the corner with Coach Chuck Winkleman screaming Allie triple on the sideline. So no surprise that's the play call. And another great bounce, but a missed layup. Sydney Hulamard had a great chance, almost taken away again. And boy, Hope lucky that Calvin didn't just get 2 points. Kicked into the corner. Perkins, wide open 3-ball. Wow, she is knocking him down. My goodness, this crowd just brought to their feet. Elizabeth Perkins now 18 points. And Calvin down by 7, just like that. Hope switching up the D a little. They want to get out on Spade. She's been the one that's hurting the Dutch with 13. Out top. Here's Hulamard, now Spade. Spade goes inside, grabbed by Perkins, and here comes Elizabeth Perkins. She's doing everything. See if she takes it all the way. Instead, she gives it to Hedrick. Hedrick's going to go inside. That's going to be a charge because inside the charge circle was Nicole Meyer. That was an offensive foul all day long, but Meyer set up too low underneath the hoop. And at first, I was ready to call it a sure charge, but then noticed where she was, and it wasn't too tough. It really wasn't close. Heels on the line. She was pretty much right in the middle of that circle. Tough break right there for the Knights, and things are starting to go Hope's way to finish off the half all of a sudden. Up by 7, Hedrick, chance to improve the lead, and here she gets the first to go. Buchanan and Traverse are going to check in for the last minute. So maybe Hope just wants to get some size in on defense down here and not let Calvin get anything inside, I imagine. Buchanan and Traverse back into the game, the starters. Another free throw to go. Hedrick gets 2. Hope back is now up by 9. Hedrick's got 3 points now. Spade up top. Traverse coming up to hedge that screen. Kick all the way out. Hulamar didn't want the 3. Traverse is going to go up, partially swatted, and here's Madison coming out. Hope can take a double-digit lead here. See what Madison wants to do. She'll drive. Nice kick over to Perkins, and she gets an easy 2. But that play is made by Paris Madison, taking both defenders, dishing it off. They're feeling the momentum now. 11-point lead for the Dutch. They want to slow things down, and Coach Winkleman wants 1 shot. There is about a 3-second, we'll call it 2-second really, differential. And Perkins tried sliding in for a steal. Coach Spade looking back She's waiting for the go from Coach Winkleman. She wants one shot, and I would imagine it's going to be Spade to take it. She'll drive, and a foul going to be called on Perkins. But just the
she
third.
Knows.
Yeah, she really didn't need to do that. That's the second foul now. Or excuse me, first foul on Perkins. She's doing all right in that effort. 7.7, but what this does is gives Calvin a chance to definitely take the last shot now and set something up as well. Imagine they'll just go to Spade right away. They do. Good help side defense. They tip it away, and that's going to go to the Dutch. And you know what it is right now? I saw Coach Morehouse make an adjustment a few possessions ago on defense, and he did exactly what you'd expect. Allie Spade has taken 10 shots for Calvin. Nobody else has taken more than 4. So Hope right now is locking her up. They're double teaming, and Calvin's got to look to something else on offense if they want to score. Hope's out to an 11-point lead, 44-33. This game was tight throughout, and Hope suddenly pulling ahead. And I think that's the difference now. And as I mentioned, Spade had only missed 2 shots, and then she's missed the last couple she's taken, 6 of 10. Still a great half overall with 13 points. But recently, Hope's caught on to the trend. And Coach Winkleman, you just got to go into halftime, make the appropriate adjustments, especially because it looks like your team's going to be down by at least 11. Coach Morehouse takes the timeout, see if they can draw something up to get it down the floor and get 2 more. They'll inbound from in front of their own bench, it looks like. Hope going to give it to Perkins to get it in. Calvin going to put on pressure. You get to Madison. Madison's going to take a screen. She'll be able to drive all the way inside, and she misses a layup. She had too much speed going in. Madison just got too excited. She took it all the way to the rack and just banged it off the small square. And Hope with an 11-point lead at halftime, really turning things around. But that last play, a pretty good peek into probably the biggest problem for Hope in the half, missing layups. They could not get shots to go from inside. Their shooting percentage on the half overall, 41% from the field. But a lot of those misses coming on shots that they probably should have certainly made. Calvin shot 50% from the field overall, but they trail by 11. Big part of that, 9 turnovers for Calvin, just 2 for the Flying Dutch. Timmer with 10 and Spade with 13 for the Knights. And 7 for Traversa for Calvin, 5 for Gears. Perkins leads the way with 20. Multiple players with 4. Hope really spreading things out. A lot of players getting involved. A Wildwood a half for Elizabeth Perkins, 8 for 10 from the field, 2 for 3 from 3, and a perfect 2 of 2 from the free throw line. I'm Blaine Rosbicki, Carly Van Swoel. We've got halftime, about 15 minutes, and we'll be back for second half action after this. Hope's got an 11-point lead in the rivalry.
everybody. We are here right now with the assistant coach for Hope Girls. And in the first half, it was very close. First couple quarters, it was very close. But somehow in the second quarter, you guys managed to take the lead. What were some of your adjustments going into that second quarter?
Well, I think part of it's adjustments, you might call it that, but I think it's more mental adjustments by our own players. I mean, we as coaches add some things on set plays that we might want to run, but it's effort. I thought our effort was very, very good in the last half of the first quarter, but then in the second quarter, a lot more effort totally, and I think we got them back on their heels a little bit.
Yeah, and you touched on that effort piece, and we saw that the defense really kicked in that second quarter, which led Calvin to 9 turnovers and Hope to just 2. What were some of the keys to maintaining the ball for Hope?
Well, I think we do skill development every week. I mean, every day of practice for 35 minutes every day. And skill development is how do you handle the ball, how do you pass the ball. We've done that for 3 years now, and I think it pays off when you get one-on-one in a game, say, oh, this is just skill development. And so 2 turnovers against this team and a half. If we can do that again, I think we got a good shot.
Well, thank you so much, Coach, and good luck the rest of the half.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Carly, for getting us that interview with the other Coach Morehouse. Both of them helping us out. Appreciate the effort from all of our Hope coaches, always so great. With the media here at Hope College, and the Dutch have a 44-33 lead at halftime over the Knights of Calvin College here in the rivalry. It was back and forth, close. Calvin, the last lead was in the first quarter, about halfway through. They led from about 30 seconds or a minute in to about halfway through that first quarter. Hope held on to lead the rest of the time for the most part. And then storming up to an 11-point lead here as we headed to the halftime break. Hope led by 3 at the end of the first quarter, and at that time, Elizabeth Perkins had 6 points. By the time they took the 11-point lead going into the half, Perkins had picked up 11 more. And she leads all scorers so far for Flying Dutch and for the Knights on both sides. She'll look to continue to lead her team. Should be ready for the starting lineup for the Flying Dutches. They played quite a few. They played 10 in the first half. A lot of different players getting plenty of playing time. Hope's starting offense was in. They were unstoppable at the beginning. And some of the reserves getting some quality minutes in for the Dutch as well. For Calvin, there's no doubt who they wanted to get the shots. Allie Spade with 13. Timmer also had 10, but only took 4 shots from the field. Spade took 10. Nobody else took more than 4. Hope sort of adjusted to that on the defensive end, started shutting the Knights down. So we'll see what kind of adjustments that Coach Winkleman and the Knights made in the locker room at halftime.
And I think we saw the assistant coach for Hope talk about it. Or I just talked to him a minute ago, and he said one of the keys was this defense and a lot of the effort that they put in. And I think this aggressive defense that Hope has brought in right now has done a great job and really made the offense for Hope's team. And I think it's going to come down to whether or not Calvin wants to match that aggressiveness and effort. And we'll see what Coach Winkleman said, like you said, and see if they start working it inside to Warner's more and see if Hope can maintain Spade.
And Calvin certainly with some pretty stout defense to start this game. We saw Warner's blocking shots left and right in the paint. Hope started to go to some different things, figure it out. And but overall, though, the bigs for Calvin, primarily Warner's and Meyer, did a great job keeping Francesca Buchanan in check. She went just 2 of 6 from the field for 4 points, which is pretty impressive for anybody, considering that so far this year, Buchanan has been averaging pretty close to a double-double, 17.8 points per game. So just a couple buckets for her in the first half. Ready to get going. Calvin will start the third quarter in the second half with the basketball. Here's Spade. Allie Spade being defended closely by Smith on the wing. And has her pocket picked. Buchanan picks it up. Smith goes inside. She draws the foul and it'll go. Wow, what a start for the Flying Dutch in this second half. They get a steal, the layup, and the foul. And they're out to a 13-point lead just like that. And Warner's quickly picks up her third. That is not good for the Knights. She might have to come out. Indeed, we're going to see Nicole Meyer coming to check in. Smith gets the free throw to go, so here she comes. Just 15 seconds into this half, it seems like Hope is really reeled in all that momentum that they had going into the half. It's right back in their favor. Spade leading the offense. Had her pocket pick. We'll see if she can make a play here for the Knights. She made so many great ones in the first half. Back door, and that's a nice one. The assist inside. Buchanan with the block, but called for the foul. As Bree Lertzma, we'll see if this is on the body. Indeed, they're going to say it's on the body. It looked like it was definitely all ball, so that makes sense as she looked like she just got into the hip a little bit. So a chance here for Bree Lertzma to cut into the 14-point lead, but she can't. Off the front edge of the rim. Chance for Lertzma to split the pair. Gets that one to go, finally. That's her first make from the line. Had missed the previous two. She's 1 of 3 now on the day.
But Calvin as a whole shooting 71% from the free throw line.
Shooting 50% from the field as well. But still found themselves down by double digits. Gaddy, tough drive inside, had it partially blocked. Straight into the air. Here's Calvin. Spade will fire it up ahead. Gaddy couldn't get there this time, and Gaddy going to be called for the foul on the push. And Gaddy will come over with Smith to help Lertzma up, and Lertzma, just like that, finding her way back to the line. And if you're Calvin, you hope she can do more than split the pair. You'd like to see her make both. Make the most of these chances at the charity stripe.
And we see on both teams, Timmer, Bree, Spade, Gaddy, Traversa, and Gears, just such athletic players out here that can do so much, drive to the basket, shoot the three, and both teams really showing off their athleticism and how deep that their athleticism goes.
Lertzma knocks him down this time. Back to an 11-point game right where we started this half. Thrown away. Gears went to cut right when Gaddy went to pass. All of a sudden you feel things start to swing in favor of Calvin. Hope still up by 11. And a turnover like that can help. That's just the third turnover of the game for Hope here in the third quarter. Smith picks Spade's pocket again, and she's going to be called for tripping Smith. Try to get the ball. And boy, Smith has been playing some tight defense all game long, been close on Spade, but Spade somehow seemed to keep coming up with baskets. Calvin, even when they lost the ball, found a way to get back, but suddenly Smith able to force 2 turnovers, and it resulted in a 3-point play, and now a chance for Hope to get the ball back. It's the 11th turnover for Calvin. Smith drives inside. Foul going to be called here. Looks like they're going to get Goldthorpe.
I mean, Smith, a tough defender, and props to Spade going this entire game with just that turnover. Smith's hard one to get around, and as you said, Spade scored. She's gotten some good assists. She's rebounded, so she hasn't let Smith phase her yet.
Goldthorpe's going to have to come to the bench as well. She just picked up her 3rd foul, so now Warner's and Goldthorpe both with fouls. That's big. Calvin's not a team that has as much depth as Hope. They've only played 7 in this game. So with Warner's and Goldthorpe headed to the bench, and these are the only other 5 players that have seen time for Calvin on the floor right now. Houlimard into the game. Spade still being hounded by Smith. Backdoor, nice pass. Nice help side defense from Buchanan. A rebound by Gears. It looked like another bucket. Calvin was able to score on that play last time around. Hope Bigs just have to be prepared to slide over on that backdoor pass. Onto the wing, they swing it around. That's going to be a travel. That's a good call. Gears just started going. Had a few steps on the run before she put the basketball down to the floor. So Hope picks up their 4th turnover. They had 2 the entire first half. They've got 2 in the first 1:45 of the second half. Timmer to inbound to Allie Spade. Allie Spade will bring it up the floor. Up top, Lertzma being defended tightly. Nowhere to go with it. Almost a 5-second call. They get it out instead. Houlimard, 3, no good. Offensive board, though, brought down by the Knights. They'll kick. Inside Timmer fades, tough look, and she gets it to go.
And that second chance started with Bree's phenomenal box out there on the baseline where she got the ball and passed it to Timmer. So great effort by Bree to start that off.
Gaddy step back the other way. She answers. And those are the big shots. You know, not the easy layups, not the wide open threes, the ones where you can drive and get a good jump shot from mid-range in traffic. We saw 2 in a row from 2 pretty good players right there. Lertzman had the left there, no help side from Hope either, but didn't want to take it on Gayers. Ulamard over to Spade. She's got an open look, her first open look. This one's off the mark. And inside, Buchanan couldn't come up with the rebound. And it goes out. It'll stay with Calvin. They got a fresh shot clock. Hope's still struggling a bit with the rebounds. Gaddy's going to check out. Inside, Buchanan was taken to the floor. And we don't have a foul call, but as she went down, looks like just going to get a timeout, give a chance for the trainers to look at her. Boy, you could hear her hit the floor. I didn't quite look, wasn't looking off the ball to see exactly what happened. But that's never good to see.
And such a key player for Hope.
See if we can take another look right here. She's back on her feet, walking off now. And Frankie Buchanan walked off by the trainers. So we'll see how things end up going with her. Just seems to be shaken up a little bit. See if we can get a better look to find out exactly what happened. Calvin will inbound now. Hope's got a 13-point lead. Inside, Spade turns, kicks out, wide open look, Timmer from the wing. This one's long, and another offensive board. Calvin's dominating on the O boards. That one tipped out by Schwark. So Calvin, another chance here. Third time around, here we go. Ertzman looking to inbound. Hope defending that curl well. Now they're going to go inside, and that's tipped off of Traversa. Calvin will get it in for the 4th time, perhaps.
4 times the charm, I guess.
We will see. They get it into Spade right away, and she knocks down a jump shot. Calvin needed that. Lead back down to 11. Under 7 to play in the 3rd. Nice move, Paris inside, and the foul, count it. Chance for a 3-point play. She's just too quick off the dribble. They couldn't keep her in front.
Paris Madison is another one of those really smooth players. Every move she makes with a purpose, and she drives hard, but for how small she is, she's super strong, so she can cut right through and take a body to finish that layup.
So here's Paris Madison, senior guard. Another Grand Rapids Christian product, and gets the free throw to go. 14-point lead. So we've been back and forth for the most part, but that's not what Calvin needs here. They've been down by anywhere between 11 and 14 the entire half. Lertzma to the wing. That's tipped by Traversa. Ooh, I almost got that one.
Ooh.
Just wide.
Got to be quicker than that.
Well, there's the plexiglass barrier that prevented me, not my reflexes.
Fair. Excuses is what all I'm hearing.
I'm not Mr. Fantastic. I can't wrap myself around that glass and grab it. 14-point lead for the Dutch. Calvin looking to cut into it here. See what Timmer can do. She looks to take Traversa, but Traversa, nice defense, kept her in front. Shot from Meyer. She buries that one. Knocks it through with 1 second left on the shot clock. First points of the game for Nicole Meyer. Here's Madison. Back up the floor, being defended by Hulamard. Here's nice little give and go off the roll, and it's good from Schwark. Great pick and roll right there. You just don't see it enough, I feel like, in the game today, but still a classic that can get you some points. We're going to see a timeout. Coach Winkleman seen enough now. His team still down 14. I think he realizes they just can't afford to continue to trade buckets with Hope. Back to a 14-point lead here. 5:52 left in the third. At some point, you've got to turn things around. You don't want to find yourself going into the fourth quarter still with this kind of deficit.
Yeah, there's got to be some kind of adjustment that needs to be made, whether that's start with defense, get one possession, a turnover, stop one possession, stop a layup, get a rebound. We've seen the offensive boards have been really great. Calvin has 23 rebounds right now, 6 offense, 7 defense. Let's see that get up to 40 rebounds for them to improve and get those second chances. And I think for Hope, it's maintain the speed that you're at, maintain control. You want to increase the lead, make some stops, get those fast breaks going. But I think for Calvin, really just got to take care of the ball, use that backdoor cut that we've seen Bree and Timmer use a couple times, and just get the movement off ball really working.
Just under 6 to go in the third. Hope with the 14-point lead. And Neil Diamond ringing through DeVos Fieldhouse. Always a crowd favorite. But cut off by the officials as we have a basketball game here to play. So unfortunately the sing-along can no longer go on, but we are here for the rivalry. Hope College, Calvin College. The Knights to inbound from underneath. Boy, deja vu. Calvin inbounding from underneath their own basket here. Hope with some good defense, too. Poked away. Traversa grabs it, gets it to Madison. Boy, Calvin has really struggled underneath right after a timeout. That's got to be so frustrating for Coach Winkleman. Coming up with another turnover. Perkins almost lost it. Not on the same page with Madison. Fakes to swing it. Now she'll drive, kick into the corner. Halfway through the shot clock. Schwark shot fake, now Gears. She'll roll, but it wasn't there. She's wide open underneath. Nobody could find Jacqueline Schwark. Madison, she'll step back. Back iron. Rebound, Traversa. She'll pull it out. Go to Perkins, who's cutting. Perkins, good defense. Shot wouldn't go as Meyer was straight up underneath. And my goodness, did the Dutch miss an opportunity. Jacqueline Schwark standing in the paint, waving her arms. Nobody looking underneath. Couldn't get it to her. But they'll still have the basketball with 25 seconds on the shot clock.
And Schwark being one of those 6-footers, it's hard to miss her.
Inside, Perkins and one. Wow, what a play. She just curled and Calvin couldn't stay with it. Perkins defender lost in the wash. No one helped in. And Coach Winkleman wondering what happened there. The Dutch get a turnover on Calvin's inbound play, and now they get one in, and they get a bucket on the layup and a foul. Chance for a 3-point play. Perkins already with 20 on the day. To the free throw line, make it 23. And for Elizabeth Perkins, I do believe that's a career high now. Previous career high, 23 points for number 23. Just 2 points shy of the amount of goals she scored this year on the soccer field with 25. Inside, another one of the Dutch players hits the floor. Houlemard down to the corner. Lertzma swings. Spade's open. Madison recognizes it. Getting in close. Spade. Got to watch that forearm. She gets all the way inside and gets it to go. And we're going to see a foul called on Traversa underneath. And Traversa can't believe it. As we saw one of the Knights hit the deck. And I once again wasn't looking. I've missed every one of these off the ball so far.
I can't give an opinion on whose fault that was, but Traversa definitely got a forearm at Spade, but I don't know if Spade initially accidentally pushed while she was walking away. I don't know whose fault it would be.
Well, Traversa is going to get the technical, so regardless, it's a huge break there for the Knights. And once again, I didn't see it, so I cannot comment. But regardless of the situation, Calvin with a great chance, and Spade knocks down both free throws, and now they'll have the basketball. So now the game, just like that, back down to 13. Knights can cut it back down to 11 or even 10.
And we're back to the under the basket for Calvin. Familiar place.
They get it in this time to Houlemard. Out on the wing. Spade wide open. She got lost. Hope lucky she couldn't bury that. Underneath. Lertzma pulls it out. And another chance here for Calvin now. Continuing to pound the offensive glass. Drive inside, Spade kicks, Hulamard wide open. This one's long. Another offensive rebound. Hope's just not finding bodies. And some frustration from the crowd here at DeVos. It's Calvin playing some half-court basketball right now.
They're getting the second chances that they want. They just got to cash one in.
Spade will drive. She's the one that can do it. Step back. The roll. It wouldn't go. And Gears finally pulls down the rebound. I thought Lertzma was going to step in and snag that away, just the way that things had been going. But Hope comes back still with a 13-point lead. Perkins turns. Left hand. Wouldn't go. Randall had the board, it looked like. Timmer takes it away. And Timmer, she just swung a few elbows underneath. Things are getting chippy. The DeVos crowd did not like that. And we're going to see a jump ball as Perkins steps in on defense. And boy, I tell you what, Timmer was chirping up the floor right there. This is the rivalry. Things are starting to get a little bit heated out there. Perkins is fired up too. And my goodness, Hope gets it back, 13-point lead. And right down there in the corner, everybody on that end of the floor was on their feet. And that's going to happen when you see a technical foul called on Hope. Dutch fans keeping a close eye on the Knights now. Things are starting to get very heated out on the floor.
Well, this is arguably one of the best rivalries in the nation and arguably the best D3 one.
Perkins picks up the foul there. Let's see if we can take a look at that last play right here up the floor. Or not a foul, rather, but the jump ball. She saw Perkins take it right away. Now she gets back to the free throw line. Perkins gets it to go. Perkins now looking to stay perfect on the day, and she does. Hard to imagine she can improve when she's at 92% on the season. 4 for 4 today, though.
And adding to that career high, now at 25 points for the game.
Hope now up by 15, 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. Spade guarded by Perkins. Inside. And a foul going to be called. This is going to go against Hedrick.
And we saw a similar call on her earlier where she was in the spot but bodied at the last second as Calvin's player went up to shoot. So if she would have just stayed straight up, that would not have been called a foul.
Spade wide open. She gets it to go. When she's open, she doesn't miss. Hope doing what they can. She's finding shots. She's got 21 now. Spade 9 for 17 from the field. Madison drives, and that one rolls home. Lead back to 15 for the Dutch. We'll credit Hope. They've responded in the second half. Every time Calvin's gotten a nice bucket, they've been able to bounce right back and get one of their own. Spade gets over to Meyer. Meyer up top, looking to get inside. Hulamard contested three, wouldn't go. Another offensive rebound. And there's a reason Anna Timmer averages over 10 rebounds a game and leads the MIAA in rebounding. She just knows how to get her backside into the body of one of the defensive players. She sneaks in. She's so good at it. Another foul called on Hope. Randall going to pick up the foul here. That's going to be free throws. Both teams with 5 fouls. So Timmer a chance to get a couple.
Timmer with 12 points on the day, looking to add to those.
Timmer couldn't get the first to go. It rattled around.
Entering the lineup for the Flying Dutch, number 25, Mandy Traversa.
Traversa back into the game after her technical foul. Technical foul that certainly caught her by surprise. Timmer splits the pair. Back to within 14. They get it in for Madison. Madison being defended up the floor by Hulamard. Traversa almost lost it. Swinging around, Hedrick. Perkins calls for it on the wing.
And that pick and roll has been open all day. They're just not giving it to Schwartz.
And Hedrick takes the layup. Great seal underneath by Schwartz, providing that open lane. Lead up to 16. 1.5 to go in the third. Houlimard being defended closely by Madison. Traversa lucky not to pick up another foul. Out on the wing, Lertzma being defended by Hedrick. In the middle, Meyer, shot fake, she'll drive. And she loses that ball out of bounds. Boy, that should have been 2 for the Knights. Hope catches a break. It's the 13th turnover of the game now for the Knights. Hope's done a good job, just 4 so far.
And I think this turnover ratio, Calvin with 13 and Hope with 4. So if Calvin would have held on to 10 of those possessions, this would be a different game.
Just over a minute to play in the third quarter. Hope hanging on to that 16-point lead. Here's Perkins. She's been the one come up with his baskets, big baskets today. They kick it out. Now Traversa, 7 on the shot clock. Hope's got to find someone to get this. Hedrick wants to drive. That's tipped. She gets it back, and she gets the bucket to go. Good defense underneath. Hedrick just tossed it right off the defender. Looked like Meyer underneath and collected it and got the 2. Leads up to 18, under a minute to play. Here's Houlimard on the wing, now up top. Over to Lertzma. Now Meyer. Not a lot of movement here on the offensive end for Calvin. Kind of going back and forth. Nice backdoor now. Traversa was there on the help. Spade launching from deep again. She hit it from that range in the first half. Won't get this one. Underneath, Traversa comes up with it. Here's Madison. Hope gets it up the floor. They'll take the last shot of the quarter. They've got an 18-point lead. Houlimard guarding Madison. Houlimard, the shorts rolled in. The OG Anunoby look for Indiana. Madison drives. Oh, a nice look-off fake, but she misses the layup. That's a great move from Madison. She gets a tip. Enough to hold off and prevent a shot from Calvin. Missed shot would have made it 20, but I don't think the Hope fans or anybody on the Hope bench is going to be too upset with an 18-point lead. Heading to the fourth quarter, we'll take a commercial break and be right back after this.
Hit the road.
Honey, did you remember to bring the GPS?
Nope.
Oh. Well, you have an app on your phone to tell us how to get where we're going?
I do not.
Really? So you have an actual map, like the kind that are hard to fold?
Uh-uh.
You just know where you're going?
No idea.
Don't be this guy when it comes to financial planning. LVZ Advisors. We'll help get you there.
Hey, we're a little lost. Do you know where the lake is? Yeah.
There's a word from our sponsor, Lawrence and Vanderswart Financial Planning. And we've got 10 minutes up on the clock, 10 minutes left to play. Fourth quarter just about ready to get underway. Hope's got a 67-49 lead. Perkins leads all scorers with 25. Allie Spade with 21 to lead Calvin. She's 9 of 18 from the field. But boy, she's been a volume shooter tonight, and I can understand why with how well she shoots the basketball. 18 shots. Anna Timmer second with 6 shots taken from the field, so 3 times as many as anybody else. Well, she's 50% from the field.
And Calvin doing a really great job right now. They have 28 rebounds, 9 offensive, 19 defensive, and doing a really great job of those second chances, but not doing as good of a job as executing on those second chances. So I think that's going to be a huge thing for Calvin in this fourth quarter.
Spade out top, defended by Perkins this time. Hedrick looking for the steal. Lertzma trying to deny the middle side there. In the middle of the court was Hedrick. Warner's up top, and she throws it away. Gaddy. Will she take it right at Warner? She'll pull up for the 2, and she buries it. And that's a great play from Gaddy. I was thinking she has no business going inside on Warner's the way she's been playing defensively, and obviously a big height advantage. Pulls up, gets the jumper to go. 69 points for the Dutch. It's been very nice on the offensive end so far. 20-point lead. Hope over Calvin. Calvin needs a big turnaround here in the fourth quarter. That's slowly starting to tip away. Just like that ball's tipped away. Elizabeth Perkins
making the call for him.
Being the nicest person in the world, pointing the direction of Calvin, letting the ref know it was off of her. One of the fiercest competitors during play, one of the nicest people you'll see outside of play. We said it many times on the broadcast, Traversa with the steal, but it's worth noting It happens so often. Hedrick, she'll pull up for the 2. She left it short. Fighting for the rebound underneath. In the end, Warners comes up with that's a tough rebound. Spade up the floor. 3-on-2 here. A block going to be called on Gaddy. Was she inside the circle? And that's, I believe that's what the referee calls. She was in the circle. So Gaddy is going to get the blocking foul, and that's 3 on Gaddy, which is tough, but at the same time, we're in the 4th quarter. We're going to get a timeout here for Coach Winkleman and Calvin. At the same time, you've got Madison, a very capable backup, and you are in the 4th quarter already, so 2 to go.
Yeah, as far as guards goes, Hope has plenty of those just as good, just waiting on the bench. And it looks like we might get a shot at a replay to take
Coach
a look
Morehouse,
at
a word with the official. Once again, not argumentative in any way. Let's see as Spade comes down the floor, kicks it over. Here's Gaddy. She definitely was outside of the circle, so it's just a matter of whether or not she was set. Boy, she either way, she took a lot right there. She went flying to the floor, laying her body on the line, trying to get the charge for her team, but did not go her way. Calvin with picks up the blocking foul on the 3-on-2. They get back. So 8:52 to go. Hope leads by 20. Calvin has struggled a bit with some inbound plays. Hope has done pretty well defending them as well. You've got to give the Dutch credit. It's not just Calvin struggling. They've been sticking to players on defense, but that's the play they've been able to get Spade open, coming out the back and just going right to the baseline, getting open shots. Spade plenty of time, dribbling it around right now. Not much movement going on in offense. Finally gets to Lertzma. Lertzma wants to drive. Randall will step up. A foul going to be called on Heather Randall as she reached out. So we're going to have 2 shots for Lertzma at the line. Try and cut into this 20-point lead. Lertzma gets that one to go. You can just feel sort of a little bit of a restlessness in this DeVos crowd, even though Hope up by 19. I think it was after the tactical foul play. They just started looking closely anytime, and that one's missed. Front end. And once again, Calvin comes up with the basketball, and I think Warner's got away with moving the pivot feet a little bit in traffic right there. Out to the corner. Warner's, she just got away with another one. I'm not going to say I think so. I'm certain 2 in a row there. Warner's got to be careful with the pivot foot there, picking it up, moving it a little bit. But nonetheless, Calvin couldn't get the shot to go. 19-point lead here for Hope, almost taken away. Randall wants to drive, instead kicks.
Hope very stagnant on offense. If you don't have the ball, players are just standing still. They're going to need a lot more off-ball movement in order to get things going.
So 7:56 left. Hope with a 19-point lead, but the game just feels a lot closer. That's what the rivalry does for you.
And it's been a fast-paced game this far, so.
Checking in now, Perkins, Schwark for the Dutch. Hedrick will come off as well as Randall. Calvin to bring it up the floor. It's Allie Spade. Under 8 to play. Looking to go inside Meyer. Schwark is fronting. And a carry is going to be called on Lertzma. She had it on the hip. Up ahead here, Perkins, the corner. Hope looking to trap, or Calvin rather looking to trap. Excuse me, and a foul. I think they're going to get Meyer with 2 hands. Indeed, that's the case. Defenders always hate that foul. It just seems like you're not really doing much. These officials just calling it by the book. Anytime you get 2 hands on a player, got to call the foul. And that's the 4th on Meyer. So Warner's coming back in. Warner's has 3. Inbound play, they get it to Traversa. Moving out to the wing. Hope moving a lot more off the ball in this possession. Crossover, Smith gets inside, nice drive. 2 points good. Hope was stuck on 69 for a while there. They finally get that bucket to go, and the lead's back up to 21. That's off of Spade. Smith going for the steal. She takes it away. Hustling back is Lertzma, but it won't be enough. And Smith, she's done that 3 or 4 times today. And, boy, you can't talk enough about how good of a day Allie Spade's been having. But Smith just gotten the better of her on a couple plays, and they've been huge, leading directly to points.
And she's just so persistent on defense.
Almost thrown away. Great recovery, picking up the pass there by Hulamard. And Hulamard will airball it. Timmer gets it back. Timmer, the rebounding machine, goes inside, and we're going to get a jump ball. And this one's going to go to Hope. Looked like Hope was going to come out with that anyways, but now they'll just have to inbound. They'll get it in to Madison. Hulamard showing some pressure early, backs off now. They go into the middle. Fake the handoff. Little football read action play. Smith goes right inside, gets her own rebound off the miss. Perkins open 3. She's been hot today. That one wouldn't go, but Hope gets it back. Hope needs to take a little time off the clock here, I think. When you're up by 23, 6:15 to go. I think at this point, if you can take 30 seconds off the clock every time down, even if you don't score, you probably come out with a win. Good look inside. Traversa couldn't get it to go. Hope gets it back again. Perkins goes inside. She misses as well. Finally, Calvin comes up with it. You're talking about wasting time, but you got players down there, got some good looks. They want to score the basketball. This one wouldn't go for Hulamard. Tipped around. And, hey, we're going to get an offensive foul. That one's going to go against Lertzma. I think that's going to be our first charge of the day. It seems like we've had quite a few scenarios, a couple on both ends where you thought maybe we'd get one, but body's just moving a little. I can think of Hedrick and a few examples where she was close to a charge. She was moving in the offensive player just a little bit. This time,
Hope's going small. Traverse is the tallest player out there right now.
Yeah, and that makes sense here. If Calvin, boy, I hope Calvin doesn't start fouling the rest of this game with a 23-point deficit. 5:45 to go. Madison wants to go all the way. She's hacked. Warners can't believe it initially. Boy, she got a lot of arm there, and I think that's 4 fouls on Warners. And this game seems, for the most part, out of reach as it is anyways, a 23-point lead for Hope with 5:43 to go. But it's tough for Warners with 4, and Myers got 4 as well. In a closer game, could come down to haunt Calvin a bit. Free throw made, and we're going to see some subs. Lauren Goldthorpe back in for Calvin, and Victoria Swift, the sophomore from LaGrange, Illinois, coming into the game for the Dutch. So here's Madison at the line. She gets both of them to go. She's got a note here. 25 points tonight. Puts Elizabeth Perkins up there on the list of top scoring performances. Hope College Flying Dutch. Maura McAfee scored 29 for the all-time highest scoring game for a Hope Flying Dutch player. And for the 3rd time today, one official overturning a call of another official. Did look like that ball was tipped. I'd say they probably got all 3 right this evening. Spade wants to drive now. Goes inside. She's fouled, and it'll go. Perkins picks up her 2nd foul. Big play here for Spade. Spade looking to put up the high scoring performance. Perkins has 25. Now it's 23 for Spade. Chance to make it 24 at the line. She knocks it down. Gets it to go. So here's Perkins bringing it up the floor. Swift in the game. Get it up top to Hedrick. Hope still up 22. Go inside. Traversa pulls up. Tough shot off an angle. She couldn't get that to go. So here's Spade up the floor, trying to get it back to within 20. Hulamard wants to drive. Dribbled once, put it back. Lertzma, tough take inside, tipped around. And I think over the back's going to go against Traversa. She knew that was going to be the call.
And that's a common thing for Hope with the height, we see a lot of what people call that baby birds, just relying on your height and your arm length to get that rebound, not boxing out. And if she would have boxed out, the foul wouldn't have been there.
I think that's the biggest thing you and I have noticed this year. This Hope team got a lot of size, should never get out rebounded, but that's the case. 35 boards for Calvin, 30 for Hope. Calvin, a team with size and a lot of talent as well.
Right.
A player like Anna Timmer is going to give you a good chance to out rebound the team at any moment. And here, speaking of Timmer, she's driving inside. Nice defense there by Traversa getting in the way. But Hope, you're absolutely right. Traversa just trying to go over the top, get the board. And the reason we talk about it so much is you just see it so often. There are 4 or 5 times in the game specifically where you can see that play right there. That should probably be a rebound for the Dutch. Traversa inside. That's off of Timmer's foot. It'll stay with Hope. 15 seconds left on the shot clock. Schwark back in for Traversa. And with that, for the Dutch, all of the starters off the floor. Meyer going to come back into the game for Timmer. Schwark looking to post up right away. They will get it into her. Hedrick now to Madison. Hope still a 22-point lead. I don't know if they noticed the shot clock. Looks like Hedrick does. Called for the travel going inside. Didn't quite get the shot off before that third step came down. She just took it into a double team right there. Best chance was just to kick it, let low in the shot clock. Just trying to make something happen. Swift going for the steal. Hope defense may be out of position for a moment. Calvin couldn't capitalize. Things reset. Here's Spade. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Calvin taking their time, just trying to run their offense here. And thrown away again. Hedrick. Pass inside, back and forth, and she'll end up getting the bucket. Didn't see it going that way, but in the end, Allison Hedrick with the basket. Hope crowd on their feet. 24-point lead for the Dutch.
Paris, one of those players that really loves to share the ball and really loves to be that assist maker for her teammates.
Drive inside, wouldn't go. Another offensive rebound. And Hulamar gets the bucket to go. She'd been waiting. She was 0 for 9 on the day. First bucket goes for Hulamar. She's got 2 points.
Make that 13 offensive rebounds for Calvin on the day.
Block going to be called inside the circle again. Is that Lertzma? Yes, it was Lertzma on the foul. In the restricted area. So now 4 for her as well. Paris Madison a chance to go to the line. She's got 7 on the day to go with 4 assists and a couple boards. Madison can't get that one to go. Paris Madison, you notice on her shot, not going to have your traditional backspin on it.
Nope.
She's got the Tim Wakefield look, the knuckleball going up to the rim. See if you can notice it here. With that shot going up, not much spin on it. She missed both of them there.
And trust me, her high school coaches have tried to break that habit, and I'm sure Morehouse did as well.
Here's Calvin as we see a replay of the charge. Or excuse me, the would-be charge, but inside the restricted area. Leads to a blocking foul. Here's Calvin back the other way now. Hope the lead is 22. Driving inside. Goldthorpe steps back, gets it to go. Lead at 20. Perkins, great awareness to see the pressure from Hulamard come up, help out, bring it up the floor. 20-point lead for Hope, who now would certainly be wise to just try and take some time off the clock. Certainly in no rush. Skip pass all the way over. Hedrick now will drive. 9 seconds left. Perkins will kick out. And they'll go ahead to Calvin. Here's Lertzma. Schwark's got to get back on defense. The layup will go. This game's back within 20 for the first time in a while. As Calvin gets it back to 18 points, 77-59. Pressure from Calvin. Hope swinging around would be wise just to take some time off here again. Perkins wants that open 3. Didn't get enough arc on that. She left it short. So here's Calvin, chance to continue to just cut down this lead a little, make it look a little better. Perkins called for the foul there.
That will be her third.
See some of the starters checking back in. Interesting here in garbage time with an 18-point lead, 1:29 to go.
Maybe they're just trying to get some ball handlers in there that can
they don't want to be
trapping zone.
Yeah, they want to get away from the trap. 3 starters, Gaddy, Gears, and Traversa checking in. And for the Knights, Logan Winton, the sophomore guard from Fairview, checking into the game. Chance for Spade to cut this lead down to 16. She's up to 25 now. With that free throw now has a game high, 26. And Spade will be checked out. Sarah Castle, the sophomore from Wheaton, Illinois, into the game. Full court pressure. Hope looking to break it. They get it to Gaddy, who gets right through that half-court trap. So now just about time to run it down. Into the corner. Perkins in the middle for Traversa. That wasn't a very good pass. She's able to run it down and keep it going over, although it was tipped. She would have been fine going over anyways. Tipped away again. She'll force up a deep 3. No way. She gets that shot to go. And Elizabeth Perkins has 26 points. Coach Morehouse is going to take a timeout with just under a minute to go. It's an 80-61 lead for the Hope College Flying Dutch. And Perkins now 26 points. That puts her in sole possession, 8th place all-time scoring in a game. Excuse me, after the 2, she's up to 28 now.
Yeah.
I misspoke. After that bucket she had last time around, she's now tied with Brittany Berry, current assistant coach, and Mandy Traversa, who scored 28 against Albion. Look at her just chuck it up at the end of the shot clock. She gets it to go.
She was just trying to hit the backboard.
Elizabeth Perkins has 28 points. Only Maura McAfee against Olivet. And last January scored more with 29. And you look at these names on this all-time scoring list in the game. Maura McAfee, Brittany Berry, Mandy Traversa, Carrie Snickers, Frankie Buchanan in there, Bria Ebles as well. Some great company. Some of the all-time Hope basketball players right there. So a great game for Perkins to be mentioned. The list of fantastic players, a couple of them on the roster right now, Traversa and Buchanan. Buchanan only had 4 points tonight, but man, that really speaks volumes to the depth of this Hope team. The referees are going to ask to have 1 minute put on the clock. Interesting. At the end of the timeout, they come through. They did not look at our replay over here, but nonetheless, going to add a couple seconds now.
And it's exciting to see Perkins excel. I mean, she had a phenomenal soccer season, one for the books, and to score 28 points here tonight is just a true testament to how hard she works and for herself and for her teammates, and just the leader that she is on and off the court, and she just deserves every second of it.
In the middle, 2-ball wouldn't go for Goldthorpe, an air ball. I'll turn it back over to the Dutch. Whole list of subs in right now. Erica Tolbert, Jessica Dornoff, Vanessa Freeberg in the game, as well as Kayla Russell. And Emily MacArthur down low as well on the offensive end. MacArthur, kick over, Dornoff gets the 2 to go. Lead back to 21. Calvin, shot clock off. Out to the wing, looking inside. Caroline Postma, her first action. Freeberg with the rebound. And Freeberg, the junior, brings it up the floor. Almost taken away. It's tipped. This one is going to end in the hands of Rika Tolbert right near half court. And that's going to do it from DeVos Fieldhouse. Rivalry round number 1 goes to the Hope College Flying Dutch. 82-61 the final, convincing 21-point victory for the Dutch over the Knights. For the Calvin side, Allie Spade led all the way, went 10 of 19 from the field, made 5 out of 5 free throw tries. good for 26 points. Timmer had 13 and 10 rebounds, another double-double. She's a double-double machine. 10.6 boards for Lertzma. On the Hope side, Tyra Smith had 9, and a couple of those buckets coming off some steals where she picked the pocket of Allie Spade. Allison Hedrick ended up with 10 points after a few baskets in the second half, and it was all Elizabeth Perkins who's going to get the MVP in this one. 28 points, 10 of 17 from the field, 5 of 5 from the free throw line. She had 4 rebounds as well. For Carly Van Swoel, I'm Blaine Wiersbicky. We've got some highlights to take you off from second half action throughout this game. Hope College takes the rivalry victory from Calvin, 82-61. We'll see you on Saturday for the broadcast of the men's and women's doubleheader here for Hope College basketball.